Hi, I have in front of me a 16 channel AHD or analog high definition DVR. This is suitable for both professional and home use. It really is a huge leap forward both in terms of picture quality and also the price point that's coming on it now makes it extremely attractive. So in terms of picture quality, AHD, it's going to be used we'll say up to 720p or 1 megapixel cameras on it. So it's really giving a fantastic picture thing. We just have a quick example of it here set up on a very close setup behind us. So the reason we believe it's going to be so popular is the picture quality, the ease of setup, the fact that somebody has come along and designed out a full range of DVR specifically for the Irish and UK market with 3-pin plugs, the same chassis, the same software across the 4, the 8, the 16 way, that we can now set it up and view directly through scanning QR codes. And the fact that there's good support on these and a huge number of these DVRs onto the market is massively successful directly onto the UK market immediately, and it's going to be very successful here in Ireland, UK market, and our section of the UK market as well. So in relation to what we have here, we have, we'll say the outer box here is how we get it. And if we just look at the model number, it will see it's OAHD-16 or D16. Okay, we have a 12 volt 2 amp output here with a 3-pin plug. We 4 screws here for adding on a hard drive. We'd say a minimum, absolute minimum of 2 terabytes with this. You can support up to 4 terabytes, which is an option that we have in terms of available there. And what we have here then is we have just a mini CD and also a quick step user guide. And we have a mouse here which primarily be used for using it here. So what I might do at this point is I'll just come to the front and just talk a little bit about it here. So in relation to, we'll see there's an IR input here in the front. So that could be used for just adding on if we're having it stored in the cabinet where we have no direct access to it. What we have here is 3 light indicators on it. So we have power, is the hard drive connected, and are we currently recording? Going to indicate all those. And the ability to access certain of the menu functionality here, play, escape, etc. If we come along here to the unit, we'll just return, we'll look to the back of it. And we'll see in terms of the inputs here, this is the 16 channel version. So we have input 1 going all the way to input 16. So B and C connections for the camera video input on it. We actually have a choice of audio inputs as well, 1 and 2. If we actually look at the smaller versions of it, there's more audio inputs on it, just for a straight a size and area constraint if it limited to 2 here. In reality, very few people use audio inputs on it. When we actually go to do an output on it, there's no B and C output on this. It's really giving a choice between a VGA output, video only, or a HDMI output, which is running directly to and carrying audio and video in high definition on it, and we have an option of an audio output here as well. In terms of, we have a LAN connection here with 2 USB ports. We'd use that for adding a mouse, a hard drive, for extracting recordings, or for, we'll say, upgrading firmware. With the power input here, a 12 volt input, and if we see here a little block connector on it, we've AB, and we'll see it's marked RS485, which is of course what we'd use for controlling PTZs directly. We can feed it in there, and we'll see the Pelco settings inside where we can set it up with various options on it. So what we have here is, we'll just go in here to the main menu, and the first time we go in, we'll see there's admin, and the password 1 all the way to 6 is just entered directly for us. We can click in. So this is exactly the same menu you would be interfacing with if you're on the 4 or the 8 way. There's no variations here whatsoever. If we go for the record mode here, we can choose we want automatic recording on all channels, or turn off certain ones, or have a manual setting on them. And if we want video mode here, it's picking up that 720p dome camera that we have here, but we'd have the option there of upgrading to a higher setting on it. And in terms of the channel numbers here all the way through, we can set exactly what we want. In relation to, there's a substream here which you can set to a lower setting where we're streaming it out. Probably we want to have that, particularly if there's network issues in terms of capacity. And the backups here, we'll be able to back up external hard drive or USB. We don't have either an internal thing or an internal hard drive or a USB added on. So, but we'll be covering a lot of this in more detail. In terms of networking on it, the setup on this is much easier. You can see here we'll have our submasks, and we just have our local area thing, and it's been allocated 88, we'll say, in the local area network on it. It is possible to set this up for remote viewing directly onto an iPhone simply by scanning QR codes. We'll cover that in a few moments' time. We just have an advanced setting here. We can go in and we can just check all these things here, and we can check our network status on it as well. The PTZ here, we can see there, and all the different channels all the way down to 16, and with the over the RS485 again. So we cancel out there, and then what we have is no hard drive, but if we did, we could format it here and it'll give us the capacity on it. So if we're using this here, we'll go into our P2P or peer-to-peer QR code. So what we could do is, if we get a QR scanner app on our phone, we can simply scan down the Android app or the iPhone app, bring it up then, and if we wanted it, we could use actually this third option here, the UUID. What we can do then is have it scan that and actually have it set up almost automatically directly onto our phone. And when we tested that, and we'll cover it in later videos there, it took about 30 seconds or so, and up and running viewing from our phone. So in that perspective, it's absolutely brilliant. If we come down along here, we're just in the system there, into general, we'll say, so it just gives a setting in terms of time, all the rest of it, dates, and just the language and how it's going to be formatted, the accounts and who we've set up there, and the ability to monitor and edit accounts, switch user, displays, restore, maintain, upgrade, and alarm configurations there. So what we want to do in terms of different settings there. So we can go all the way back out then, and if we right click here, we'll see that we have PTZ control color and how we want to do the viewing, 1 view, 4, 8, or all the way out to 16. So we can see here we'll just have a top corner like this as well, with no audio input on it, and then we just have the option for info and log out on it as well. So overall, we'll say we've been hugely impressed with these. We have been trying to get our customer base to move over towards AHD for a while. We think it's preferable in a lot of ways to IP, simply because the skill set that people have already in terms of power units, running cables, all the rest, is much simpler. IP is great, but it can be very tricky, particularly in the troubleshooting area. So to be able to get your 1 megapixel picture quality and be able to use all the existing power units, cables, all the rest of it is great. The huge advantage of having gone with this brand here is the fact that it's a huge brand in the UK. It's proved to be massively popular, simply because it's coming in at exactly the right price point, and we have a product now that's set for the mass market, and it's also extremely easy to install as well. It means that, we'll say, if you had an existing DVR you want to upgrade, it means you can throw away the old DVR, slot it directly onto this. It can support the older cameras. You can add in some 720p bullets or domes, things like that, or indeed a HD PTZ camera, run it all directly off of this, and it's all been supported on the one thing. In terms of how the interface is worked out, or if you think you're going to be a professional installer using a different range, the fact that it'll be not similar but exactly the same regardless whether it's the 48 or the 16 just makes this very, very attractive, and a lot of money and effort has gone into developing the range. So something's going to be around for a while, so we can get used to it, use it, and build up a sort of a fountain of knowledge around it, and it'll be well supported. So it's part of our wider range of DVRs, the 48 and the 16, all available with free shipping directly from freetv.ie.